Welcome back, everyone. So just picking up again, setting up Travis CI for the codependent coder repository. So in the last part, we demonstrated deploying the site, though I ran into something of a wrinkle. But anyways, in this part, I'm going to continue on and show you how to set up pushing the built Docker image to Dockerhub. So let's do that. So I already said that right now that let the things target goes ahead and builds a Docker image. Right now that Docker image is just run, and so for example, previously when I do this command, it builds that Docker image, and that Docker image is sitting on this machine. It doesn't go anywhere from there. And there's no real reason why it can't. I could upload that Docker image somewhere else, so I could potentially pull that image down on a different machine and use it, inspect it or use it or whatever. And that's where Dockerhub comes into play. So that's what I set up with my Travis test project. So you'll notice here, hey, there I am. I have a Dockerhub account. So Dockerhub is a Docker registry or repository, sorry, where you can push your Docker images to so that they can potentially be pulled down. It is sort of the hub, as it were, for open source Docker work. And so you can create your own images, Docker images, and push them up to here as well, so other people could potentially pull them down and use them. This one isn't very interesting because this is my test project, but I want to set up the same thing for codependent coder. So how do we do that? And that's a really good question. Actually can't remember what I had to do for my test project, so let's look at it. Did I do that in the make file? I think I did. Yes. No. Docker run. Yeah, there it is. Docker push. Okay. So these are the commands you would do. Like if you wanted to locally, from your local machine, push an image that you had built to Dockerhub, you would do something like this. The first thing you have to do is you have to actually log in on the command line to Docker. That's step one. And then once you've done that, you then you're authenticated to actually push things to your Dockerhub account. So you tag any previously built image. So Docker image name is the target of the image that gets built by this makefile. If I remember correctly, it's just called codependent coder. Sorry, where is it? Docker. Oh, sorry, Travis test, right? This was my test one. And then pushes it into my account. So it's going to tag two releases, one as being quote unquote the latest, and the second being just tagged with the git SHA of the image that was built. And so these two images will actually be the same and right after these things are pushed to Dockerhub. But the latest one kind of floats. So every time this command is run, the latest Docker image gets updated, and whereas this one that's tagged with a particular SHA is will never change, or at least that's the idea. So essentially what I'll need is this stuff in my other makefile. So I'm just gonna throw it in here. Doesn't really matter where. So again, it's going to do a Docker build first because it needs to build the image first. And then actually do the login to Docker. So this echo part is just piping in my Docker password into this login command. And I'll show you in a second how Travis gets that password, because that's kind of a key piece of information. And that's why this password standard in argument is needed, so this echo command echoes the environment variable that is my Docker password into the Docker login command and reads the password from the standard in. For now, I'll show you what I do in any case. So this should be, I think, all I need, because the image name is, codependent coder, which is what I want. And then the SHA I already have defined, right? Yeah, I already get the git SHA in my makefile, so that's already defined. And so then it's just doing the push. So Now, actually this I can use as being for my only changes to master change. So I can make that. So I'll put my Travis target back. And lint. I guess I really don't need the length of things check because that happens in the pull request, but it doesn't hurt to do it again. And actually I'll do that before the push to Docker. So again, the length of things is effectively my tests. So do those checks. If those are green, cool. Then do a push to Dockerhub of the image. And that's pretty much it. And so then what we'll do is we'll make that happen only when we're building the master branch, because we don't want to push images up to Dockerhub on each individual pull request build. That's just kind of pointless. So let's see if this works. Oh, actually, I guess I still need, well, yeah, we'll get there. Get commit sham. What am I doing? Push built image to Dockerhub. CH171. Cool. So that's going to trigger some builds. If I flick back here. So master. So there's the branch it's building. So this is the branch build. Do I still have a pull request open? I don't think I do. Okay, creating the pull request. That should trigger a pull request build. And how's the branch build doing? Green, that's what I like to see. Did not do a push to Dockerhub, which is exactly what I want. Because again, this is a feature branch, not the master branch. And then the pull request build is going to go. And what we should see is the same thing we saw in the feature branch build. It does the lints, but doesn't do the push to Dockerhub. And then once we merge to master, we should see that go into Dockerhub. And then I think that'll probably be it for this video. So how are we doing? Okay, build's happening. So okay, cool. My feature branch is green. Okay, I just want to get the build on master going. So once I merge this, this should do a build of the master branch, and that should also push the image up to Dockerhub. So once it's done, I should see a codependent coder image in Dockerhub. Except it won't, because I didn't actually add my password. Boo! So we'll see a failed build. Silly Adam, you forget things. There we go. So it's building a master branch. That's going to fail. Yeah, that's not a great status. And actually, that's the pull request. That's the feature branch. Branches master is in fact failed. And it's failed because no password. You can see no password was piped into Docker login. And that's because I didn't actually set it up. So where do we do that? So in Travis, for a given repository under settings, you can define environment variables. And so these are in addition to the environment variables that Travis itself defines, like the Travis pull request, Travis branch. So you can define special ones, or ones that actually these aren't special. They're just convention. So one was my Docker username. Is that what it was? Just sanity checking here. Makefile Docker username, which was pzelnit. And there's this box that's display value in build log, and we'll see what that's useful for in just a second. So we'll add that. And then the other one is the password. And that's obviously a particularly sensitive piece of information. I'm perfectly happy to share my username with the world, but I'm not happy to share my password. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just quickly grab my Dockerhub password, which you can't see because I'm doing it on a different screen. And I'm going to paste it into this box, which I'm just going to quickly move this off screen so I can do that, because it does display it in plain text. And there we go. So because I had this display value in build log unchecked, which it is by default, which is actually smart on Travis's part, the value itself won't even display in the Travis UI here. And it also won't display in the log of any build, which is particularly useful because you also don't want your password to show up in anybody who has access to the build logs, because those are also public, or at least are for the way I have Travis set up here. So with that password and username in there, the build of a master branch should succeed, I think. So what we're going to do is we're just going to trigger another build. So we'll restart the build. So this one hopefully should complete successfully and push that image up to Dockerhub. So again, I had to set that Docker username and password to do the push to Dockerhub. So login, and there we go. Login succeeded. Doing the tagging and the pushing. So now it's pushing that built image up to Dockerhub. What do we got here? And there it is. Success. Okay, and I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully this was really interesting and useful. Thanks for watching.